Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Harakakadash, the bonus to the apostles and elders, great most on it, rule well. Shalom to all the brothers and wives saying truth. Yeah, you had this situation in LA basically going into meltdown over there, where it's been a swift, escalating back and forth between, the federal government really enforcing the deportations that have kind of been the focal political point of like Trump coming in with his second term, where it's been like a hot thing, and then obviously LA where they're resisting against it, and you've had National Guard deployed, where it's up to like 4,000, and then 700 Marines as well. So this is on Reuters. It says what Marines to deploy in LA streets within 2 days, with authority to detain civilians. So you're essentially having an aspect of martial law, more or less an extension of it, because you're having the military enforcing the mandates of Trump, and it's been a big back and forth, and it's got hot, man. It's got hot because when you have the military involved, it's a different level to where it's just the police. It's like the military as a police, but them being able to grab up citizens, it's gonna get peak. It says what U.S. Marines will join National Guard troops on the streets of LA within 2 days, officials said on Wednesday, and would be authorized to detain anyone who interferes with immigration officers on raids or protesters who confront federal agents. So yeah, it's basically gonna be back and forth, and since it's escalating, if you have significant violence take place, it could pop off, it could become bigger, it could not, they could get beaten down to where they just kind of hold it. But either way, it's a big kind of expansion of like the level of force being used, to push us forward. It says what U.S. President Donald Trump ordered the deployments over the objections of California Governor Gavin Newsom, sparking a national debate about the use of the military in U.S. soil, and animating protests that have spread from Los Angeles to other major cities, including New York, Atlanta, and Chicago. Los Angeles on Wednesday endured a sixth day of protests that have been largely peaceful, but occasionally punctuated by violence, mostly contained to a few blocks of the city's downtown area. And yeah, it's like with that violence, there could be agent provocateurs, people kind of set up to incite it to make it, you know, uh, more justify, more violent backlash. But then it also depends on who's taken as well, and kind of scope and scale it gets to. Because that's kind of what popped it off. It was, the scale it was being enacted on, and LA being LA. Dennis is it's a very anti-Trump country, so we'll have to see, what they kind of do. Because the protest broke out last Friday in response to a series of immigration raids. Trump in turn called in the National Guard on Saturday, then summoned the Marines on Monday. But in that quickly, on that, Los Angeles will be burning to the ground right now. So Trump at an event at the JFK Center for Performing Arts, state and local leaders dispute that saying Trump only escalated tensions with an unnecessary and illegal deployment of federal troops, while Democrats nationally have condemned his actions as authoritarian. Yeah. So obviously it's expansion of what Trump's doing, and that's the thing as well. It's still the first year, as and when he kind of expands, the scope of what he's gonna do, the scale of what he's gonna do. It's gonna get peak. People are gonna get normalized. There's a certain level of chaos already with Trump being in that people are just normalized to as well. So then looking at that, you think like, damn, this it's really kind of this like, who even knows how far this shit can go. It says Trump is carrying out a campaign promise to deport immigrants, employing forceful tactics consistent with the norm-breaking political style that got him elected twice. President Trump promised to carry out the largest mass deportation campaign in American history, and left-wing riots will not deter him. That effort, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said. And yeah, it's really not gonna like slow him down. It's really not gonna scale it back. Which ain't really a surprise. Funny as hell. So what President Trump promised to carry out the largest mass deportation campaign in American history. Oh wait, no, I read that already. So this is the U.S. military said on Wednesday the battalion of 700 Marines had concluded training specific to the LA mission, including de-escalation and crowd control. So, that's what they're saying. Said they would join the National Guard under the authority of a federal law known as Title 10 within 48 hours, not to conduct civilian policing, but to protect federal officers and property. So even that, it's like a different kind of scope. But then that's the thing, is like that's why these laws are put in, because it kind of broadens the range of what's justifiable. Because people will be like, oh, the military, it's like, Marines, they're going to be, breaking arms, gun butting people in the mouth, who knows? And then, with that, thing is as well, is in general, everyone's more politically radicalized now than when he first came in. When he was talking about build the wall, blah, 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 it wasn't as things hadn't gotten as extreme as they are now. And now people are all some people might just be like, yo, fuck it, and go and just swing on someone or start throwing objects or whatever. These things can definitely happen. But then we have to kind of see, the scope to which it goes to, man. But yeah, no, it's a mad situation. It's kind of one of those, it's a touch and go, kind of watch it and see what it escalates to, man. Because it can go far. 1 Thessalonians 5:1, but of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Yeah, sudden destruction. That's, we're basically witnessing where this thing is flared up in no time flat. Because it's kind of been done for a while, but just this particular location, this particular place, it flared up, and now it's it's burning heavy. It's enraptured the whole nation, man. Everyone's kind of watching it, like, okay, how can this go? What's gonna happen? But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom, shalom.